pray. And we think that we know it all, yet we know nothing. That's why you should recruit the right person to come here. Doesn't matter whether he's a pastor and start learning the Yes. All right? How? You should not be intervening.
So, Monica, let me ask you this. Is there a person in your group who she seems to like or favor or respect? Is there anybody that respects her or likes her? Anybody at all?
I don't think.
The reason I'm asking you that is because sometimes the way we get things changed is when we don't have the influence with the person, but somebody else does. You could talk to them and see if they could help because that person likes them or respects them or whatever. You know, just talk to them and see if you can get them to influence her, you know, and share with her. We come back to the courage. It takes courage to lead. And if it's affecting the whole group, you know, the way she is, someone's going to have to probably step up and say something to her. In love. In Jesus' name.
She is a psychologist. In this sense, she works with people with mental. So she's very emotional. Sometimes when she comes, maybe she has been dealing with clients that maybe because have emotionally was able to, I don't know.
So who in your group would you say has the most influence with the pastor? No, you said that she is over the group, but the pastor's over her, right?
Yes.
So who in your group seems to have a lot of influence with the pastor?
Myself.
Besides her?
You.
So this may come when the courage comes in. And you go to the pastor and you just say, I'm saying this in love. I'm saying this for the benefit of the whole group and of course ultimately the church. But this is what's happening and I just want to see if maybe you could talk to her and give her some guidance that would help help the whole group. How does that feel? Well, pray about it. Spend a lot of time in prayer and everything, and then the Lord leads you. Go talk to the pastor, because maybe he's the one to get it done. If there's nobody in the group that could help her, and then he could deal with her emotions and all that stuff. Okay? Does that help? Okay. In a scary way. In a scary way, it helps, right? Enough. Give away my
I'm saying she has said what I wanted to say. And the pastor will be the best person to handle because when you come from the place of her work, you know you deal with these people, and now yes, we deal with these people. If you know how to come and we are safe in love, the pastor is not the person.
Yeah.
But also become positive.
Attitude.
Start becoming positive attitude. Because if you start from the way what you have taught, this is really, really good. Then from that point, you try not to come and say, people usually not sure that you're correcting. They don't like to be corrected because you go like you are complimenting them. Wow, because you talked about this is a very good. People don't understand. Because you talk to them in a way that there is love in it, and from a positive side. Once they must know you love them first. When they know you love them, they know what to do. It's not to have them.
And so what the pastor's saying is, maybe you guys could work on increasing your influence with her. And so when you compliment her, not fake, but something true that she does that's good, and you're building that relationship with her. Because it sounds like you got a bad relationship. And you need to increase your influence with her. And a person, though, you don't have to, I think, I hear what you're saying, go to the pastor, but you need to blend where you're planted. Everybody can influence something where they are. But because there's really nobody there that has a lot of influence with her, I think the pastor is the best route to take.
And avoid discussing it with people of less faith. Because if you do, you bring them down, it will be very difficult to lift them. So avoid discussing it. Even if someone comes and tell them,
She's doing well. She's doing well.
Yeah, she's okay, but then you understand yourself.
But I think you can say something like, let's lift her up. Let's find something good, and let's lift her up. You can talk to one another that way, in a positive way, but don't talk about her. But talk, how can we lift her up? Okay? You see, you want to say something?
I think the lady may be going through a lot. Secondly, she may be thinking she's taking care of people is not taking care of her. And I would say, I think she needs love. Like somebody should take her out, start getting close, take her out, maybe, or hang out.
Bring her some flowers.
Yeah, so start taking her. That is love. And thirdly, I think Monica should read this reality and loyalty. So it's going to help to take care of that.
There's a book called
Loyalty and loyalty. That's going to help you deal with that person.
Absolutely.
Because I know she's going through something.
Question? Suggestion? Was there anybody else? Was there somebody here?
This is
Peter. Y'all are
today, I was just saying we should, it was important that we know, because you said about adding value, and you said success is knowing my purpose in life, growing my maximum potential and soul. I think knowing is very important, knowing your purpose, that is why. And I just wanted to mention, I sent a video yesterday in the group. Did everybody see it? No, I don't think everybody. I think just look at the video, just watch it till the end, then maybe you'll know the difference between what and why. Okay, thank you. Just that.
Anybody else?
Yes, a reflection of the entire lesson. The goal is to have to answer our question. I'm thinking the way we approach things and the way we respond to people's behaviors, our values, our attitude, it's a summation of our daily routine. And so I think it's important to seek to understand why people behave the way they behave. Why do we respond to the way we respond? That will help us not to make early judgment, but it is a call for us to take a pause and seek to understand people so we can be able to treat them with the right attitude and the right mindset.
Good. That's good advice. Good advice.
From what she has explained, and especially considering her career as a psychologist and a person who deals with people who have got mental problems, usually when these people, psychologists, go for their training, they are trained just to listen to people and allow them to throw emotions at them. And sometimes that that has a lot of effect
Yeah.
on the person.
Yeah.
So when they are being trained, one of the things they are trained is that after some time they should also go for therapy, where they are going to express themselves also and relieve themselves of that, of the emotions, and in the process they also healed emotionally, just like they are healing the people who are talking to them. So I tend to feel that she should be advised also now to go for therapy. And the person who should do that is either somebody, she may be able to research a psychologist, a fellow psychologist, because she tends to be that person will understand her, or even the pastor, and then I think she will be okay. That's my view. Just like I said, Hola said, she may be going through a lot. And I think that a lot has to do with the work she does.
Probably. And I think you're right, she's probably, gives her, somebody said this, that she's giving all of herself, hearing all this negative, and, you know, what comes in goes out. I know you're trained, you know, how to do things professionally, but, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So, anything else before we talk about a personality assessment?
I was requesting if you could kindly share the other levels of leadership. You talked about 5 levels of leadership, and you said position is the lowest level. Could you kindly share with us the other levels of leadership? Towards the end, you talked about 5 levels of leadership.
Can I share that with you tomorrow? Because I'm going to go through that. I'll actually try to bring something to show you what they are. But if you Google John Maxwell 5 levels of leadership, you'll see it. Can we go into this next thing? Okay. All right. So your personality profiles. Can we pull that up or not? It's not on the PowerPoint, so that's right. Is that why? Okay. So, do we have an extra one of that in there? So, does everybody have, it look like this? Okay, this is the first one that I ever did. This is Florence Littauer, and she wrote a book called Personality Plus. And she wrote a book called Personality Plus, and so John in his teaching, this is what he first used, and it's what I first used, so I use it. There's probably other things out there, other resources. But what I want you to do is, you may have, I don't know how much time we have. 20 minutes. So after I explain it, you can go ahead and get started on it if you want to. But here's what I need you to do. I need you to take this assessment, do the calculations, figure out where your top personality style and temperament is, and then generally you'll come in, there'll be something, one of them that'll be your second. Okay, so I want you to know your first, your top one, and your second one, but also know what you're bad at too, you know what I'm saying, what your weaknesses are. Because remember, we want to surround ourselves with people who are strong or who are weak. So we want to know where we land in all of that, okay? So what you want to do is on the first page, it should say strengths. Strengths, right? So on line 1, number 1, look at those words. Adventurous, adaptable, animated, or analytical. And put a check next to that word that best describes you. Okay? Which best describes you. And I'm just sharing with Steve, I forgot to tell you this. how to take the assessment, and then when they come back tomorrow, bring in what their top assessments are, and then we can talk about logistics. Because you remember how we had to set the room up? We can talk about that. Thank you. All right, so are you mostly adventurous, adaptable, animated, or analytical? Whichever word best describes you, check off that word. If you're not sure or you don't know, maybe ask a friend, okay, how they would describe you. And if you don't know, still don't know, think about your childhood. Because generally we're really who we are as a child. What happens as we get older is we start masking, you know, who we are, who we really are. Then on line 2, the same thing. Persistent, playful, persuasive, or peaceful. Which one of those words best describes you? And put a check mark there. Okay? And then just go all the way down. So these are going to be your strengths. Be candid, okay? Don't try to cheat this thing. Because that's not going to help anybody. Okay? Be true to yourself and go through and mark all of those down. Then on the back page are weaknesses. We all have weaknesses. So it's okay. All right? Again, don't fudge this. Be truthful. So, on weaknesses, line 21, are you blank? Blank? In America we say blonde. Are you bashful? Are you brassy? And if you don't know the definition, go look up the definition, okay? Because you need to know what this word brassy is like. Red. Like that. Are you bossy? Okay. Undisciplined, unsympathetic, unenthusiastic, unforgiving, which word best describes you? Okay? So, because there is a word on that line that best describes you. So after you've done that, then you want to go to the next page, okay? And what I would suggest is just probably rip them apart so it's easy to do. And whatever your answer was under strengths, let's say if it was adventurous, then go look on the page 3 for the word adventurous and put a check mark there. Okay? So whatever you put here and here, you're going to record it here and here. Are you with me? Yeah? And then on page 3, after you record all your strengths, where you landed, there should be a check in all 20 of those numbers, okay? Only one. Then you want to calculate all of the check marks in the first column and write it down here. Okay? The same with the second column, third column, fourth column. Add those up and write the numbers down here. Then flip over to the last page. And the same thing, you want to take all your weaknesses that you checked off on page 2, and you want to record those on page 4. Okay? And the same thing at the bottom, you just want to, total weaknesses, you want to add those up for each column. And then that bottom line, you're going to take the number that you wrote down under the first column on page 3 for your strengths, and you're going to add it to the column that you wrote on page, the first column on page 4. You're going to add those two together, and that's going to get you your bottom number. Okay? So get you your bottom number. And then you're gonna do the same thing for column 2, column 3, column 4. Now, was that clear as mud?
Yeah.
Any questions?
You
You got it? Okay.
So is it possible for you to do it like, for example, on this line, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you do the second thing, like hanging a straight. So you're saying that we should just select the digits, the numbers, yes?
Not numbers, you're just check marks.
Yes, so if I have a measure, I take, and then on the second I have table, and then I control, something like that.
Right.
And then when I get the total on this,
You gotta transfer because this is laid out so that hopefully people won't cheat, okay? They won't try to outsmart it. So you've got to go through and check off this, okay, every line. Take whatever your check is and record it over here on page 3, the same on 3, 4, because they're not gonna line up the same. They're different, okay?
The first page that jump down so that you don't start thinking, so if you already think that certain way. So I was saying it's helpful not to look at, this is like the exact, like this is like the answers. So if you look at, I was saying the first and the second pages are just for you to do it raw without looking at the other ones. Because if you look at them and maybe you already think you are a certain way, it will make you think, especially if you're confused of, am I playful or am I peaceful? And then because maybe you think, you know, if you look at that, it already tells you, okay, if you think you're a melancholy, then you think you're something else. So it's important to just feel about page 1 and page 2, tick them, whichever you are, and then the other one is like, no, the
Transfer them over.
yeah, we transfer which you are to give you the marks. So now this one's in page 3 and 4 have been they've been grouped together so that it makes meaning to your number 1 and 2. So the mark is one is 1, right? Is 1. You ticked adventurous. If you're either adventurous, adaptable, animated, or analytical. So if you tick adventurous, you will tick adventurous. So but when it comes here, it will already